Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hello. And today we'll be talking about happiness and communication. So let's get right into it. What makes us happy? Is it fame, money, good relationships? Well, there are many things that can make us happy, but in this video I'm going to share with you one of them. That is communicating effectively. As humans, we are social beings and we need other people to survive. Even though some of us may appear to be introverts, we all need people. But how do we connect with others? How do we form those social connections? We communicate. Communicating with others allows us to express our wants and needs, which ultimately contributes to our overall happiness. In fact, studies have found that people who have a strong sense of belonging or a strong social connection live happier lives than those who are more isolated. For example, in one study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, researchers investigated whether life satisfaction was associated with the quality of close relationships. The results showed that those who reported having more satisfying relationships and stronger social connections had higher levels of life satisfaction. Another study published in the British Journal of Psychology found that individuals who had greater social support from friends and family were better able to cope with stress and had fewer physical health problems, which could also contribute to overall happiness. But it's not just about having social connections. It's also important to feel like you can talk to others openly and honestly. When we can communicate our thoughts and feelings effectively, we feel less alone and more understood. This can help us build empathy, which is important for both our mental and physical health. For example, in a study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, researchers found that individuals who reported greater levels of emotional intimacy in their relationships also reported greater well-being and life satisfaction. Additionally, a meta-analysis published in Clinical Psychology Review found that expressing emotional support to others can have a positive impact on both the recipient and the giver. This means that not only does talking about your feelings make you feel better, but helping others open up and communicate their emotions can also benefit you. So it's clear that communication is an important part of being human. But what does that mean exactly? What does effective communication look like? Well, effective communication is more than just saying the right things. It is also about being an active listener and being aware of your body language and tone of voice. It's about being able to express yourself while also being sensitive to the needs of others. It's not always easy to communicate effectively, especially when we're feeling angry or upset. But when we can take the time to really listen to each other and try to understand each other as perspectives, we can form deeper connections and create more meaningful relationships. These connections and relationships are what help us to be truly happy. They give us a sense of belonging and acceptance that we all need to thrive. And it's not just in our personal lives that effective communication is important. It's also essential in our professional lives. In fact, poor communication is often cited as one of the main reasons for conflict in the workplace. But when employees feel like they can communicate openly and honestly with each other and with their managers, they're more likely to be satisfied with their jobs and more likely to stay with the company. So how can we improve our communication skills so that we can form better relationships and live happier lives? Well, it starts with self-awareness. We need to be aware of our own communication style and how it affects others. We also need to be aware of our own emotions and how they're affecting our communication. When we're angry or upset, it is important to take a few deep breaths and try to calm down before we start talking to someone else. Otherwise, we may say something that we regret later. We also need to be good listeners. This means paying attention to what someone else is saying without interrupting them. It also means trying to understand their perspective, even if we don't agree with it. When we listen to someone else, we show them that we respect them and care about what they have to say. This helps to build trust and rapport, which are essential for good communication. Another important aspect of effective communication is being able to ask for what we want. Many of us have been conditioned to be people pleasers and to put the needs of others before our own. But in order to have healthy relationships, we need to be able to assert ourselves and ask for what we need. Otherwise, we may end up in relationships where our needs are constantly being ignored. Of course, asking for what we want doesn't mean being selfish or inconsiderate. It's possible to ask for our needs to be met while also being sensitive to the needs of others. The key is to be assertive, not aggressive. Assertiveness is a communication style that involves standing up for yourself and expressing your opinions and needs while respecting the rights of others. On the other hand, aggression is a communication style that involves dominating or controlling others and often involves blaming or criticizing them. Being aggressive can damage relationships and make people defensive, which can make it difficult to communicate effectively. It takes practice to learn how to be assertive, but there are a few basic tips that can help you get started. First, use the I statement when expressing your needs. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," say, "I feel ignored when I don't get a response." Second, be specific about what you want. For example, instead of saying, "Can you do something for me?" say, "Would you be willing to do this for me?" Third, be prepared to compromise. It's unlikely that you'll get everything you want all the time, so be willing to meet halfway. And fourth, be assertive but not aggressive. Stand up for yourself, but don't attack others. Asking for our needs to be met is essential for forming healthy relationships. When we don't ask for what we need, we may end up in relationships where our needs are constantly ignored. This can lead to resentment and dissatisfaction. When we ask for our needs to be met, we show the other person that we recommitted to the relationship and that we're willing to work on it. We also show them that we respect ourselves. So how does all of this relate to happiness? Well, when we're able to communicate effectively, we're able to form deeper connections with others. We feel less alone and more supported. We're better able to handle difficult situations and we're happier overall. This is just a brief overview of the link between communication and happiness. There's a lot more research on this topic, and I encourage you to explore it for yourself. You may be surprised at what you find. So, what are your thoughts on this topic? How has communication affected your happiness? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Effective communication is essential for building strong relationships and creating meaningful connections. When we can communicate our thoughts and feelings openly and honestly, we feel less alone and more supported. This can help us to live happier, more fulfilling lives. By practicing active listening, being assertive, and showing empathy, we can improve our communication skills and reap the many benefits that come with it. So go ahead and reach out to someone today. Let them know how much you appreciate them and listen to what they have to say. You may be surprised at how much it can improve your day. As always, the references and studies used are listed in the description below. Don't forget to leave a like and comment if you learned something new. Thanks for watching. See you next time.